Hi all, a very good morning to all of you. This is Bhavar Singh. A very warm welcome to this webinar today on modern and micro learning. Just to make sure everyone is they are able to hear me, if you could just type yes if you are able to hear me loud and clear. If there are any issues, please use your chat box. I have my panelist who can really help you with such issues. So just confirm if you can hear me loud and clear using your chat box. Say yes so that I can proceed with my session. Good. So yes, it seems my voice is loud and clear. I wanted to confirm if everyone is able to see my screen as well. I'm on a screen with blue background which says learning, modern and micro with a Hurix logo here. Perfect. So we are all set. Let me jump on to the session now without wasting any more seconds. So yes, topic of the day, learning. Let me introduce myself. I'm coming from an extensive experience of about 10 years in e-learning industry. I've assisted leading organizations, L&D professionals in choosing, making decisions, in choosing or selecting the right technology, strategy, or defining e-learning methodologies for their organizations. Right now, I'm associated with Hurix Learning as a Global Sales Director, specifically taking care of corporates and the learning content development services which we have. I'm changing my slide. The first slide talks about agenda. So what I'll be doing is I'll quickly introduce you to who Hurix is, if you're not aware of. We'll do a very quick poll, a survey, just to know what my audience is are thinking right now about this topic today. We'll talk about the changing environment, learning environment which we are in right now and how it is changing, why it is changing. We'll understand this topic of why we are talking about micro learning, what all things falls in this category, and we'll talk about different forms of micro learning, what all different things are there which typically falls in this category, and what you can really keep out of the purview of micro learning. We'll talk about various scenarios where you can very efficiently, very quickly apply principles of micro learning, where we have seen that principles of micro learning has enhanced the overall learning outcomes. So that is, those are the scenarios we'll talk about here. We'll talk about how you can really find the right micro learning component for your organization. So there are various pieces, right? There are various ways of doing micro learning, and which one is applicable in a specific scenario for your specific organization. That is what we will talk about here. I have a very quick case study, how a leading Fortune 500 organization has leveraged one of the micro learning principle or style, and how they have in fact won an award out of that learning strategy implementation. And of course, there is a dedicated time for Q&A. So let me start with who we are. We are a global organization with global presence, of course. We are headquartered in Mumbai, in India, a 15 years old organization. We call ourselves veterans. one of the largest e-learning team, 580 plus as we are speaking. Huge experience of design and development of custom e-learning content of 10,000 hours of content. We are especially known for Flash to HTML5 conversion solutions, where we have done almost 500,000 conversions in past 3 odd years. We are a multi-award winning organization since inception. You will see Deloitte, Brendan Hall, training industry, you name it, we have it. In 2015, I can mention this one very specifically. Trainingindustry.com, they have placed us in their watch list in training outsourcing category. So that's the recent one. And of course, there are multiple Brendan Halls and then other recognitions which we have received. We are serving clients in more than 20 countries, almost 250 plus global organizations we are working with. Some colorful logos you can see here very quickly. We work with almost all domains, industries, or I would say types of client. Heurix, typically, I would say we are innovators. So we have our own suite of platforms, products. Dictera is an authoring tool, a web-based collaborative e-learning course authoring tool. Kitabu, it's again a cloud-based platform to help you design and develop interactive ebooks from your training documents. Services which we offer very quickly, we do of course an end-to-end design and development of content, translation, localization, lot of repurposement of e-learning content, a lot of conversion, a lot of rapid authoring. So we do an end-to-end, we do provide an end-to-end e-learning services. That's it from who we are side of things. Very first, before I jump onto the session, I would like to know your thoughts on this specific thing, which says learning attention span for a 5-inch smartphone or a device. So you have 4 options here. I am now rolling out my poll. So now you can, on your screen, you will see your poll. You can quickly use your cursor mouse to respond to the poll. Perfect. So I'm jumping on to the next screen and I'll share my outcome, what most of you guys are thinking. So almost 63% of my audience, they are saying it's 3 minutes. Remaining ones, I would say again for 5 minutes, they're substantial, almost 25. Then some of you guys think 10 minutes can be a attention span. My next slide is another poll, very quick poll. What should be the learner attention span for a tablet device? And this poll will come now on your screen. So typically when we say tablet, you can consider, let's say, a 7-inch or a 10-inch device, iPad, tablet. Great to see this. So most of you guys, almost 70% of my audience today, they are saying it is 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes. And then there is an equal contribution to 20 and 30. Good. Let me quickly close this now. Perfect. Now everyone should see my screen. So the next finding, crucial finding out of this research study was 1% of the typical work week is basically what someone can spend on training and development. People are increasingly turning to their smartphones just to find the just-in-time answers and unexpected problems which they encounter while they're working. And when it comes to where they really go to learn, most of the time they go to search engines, almost 70% plus, and going back to the online course or to their LMS systems, 50 to 60%. If we really do a conclusion out of this research study, this typically means that the modern learner, which we have today, they don't have that much of time to really spend on formal training or learning environment. Of course, technology enhancement which has happened, let it be smartphones or tablet devices which has intruded our life these days, is one of the reason. And on top of it, there are other good reasons, positive reasons why, because of this technology intrusion, let's say, it has started revolutionize the whole the way we learn. So let's quickly define this micro learning thing, and then we can quickly talk about this topic. Let's put everything in context, bring everyone on the same page. So what we are talking about today is we are talking about by use of compelling and engaging media assets. So when we say media assets, it can be any, let's say, an audio or an imagery or a video or an interactivity. So anything which can really make it compelling and engaging, any media asset, which allows the learner experience get super enhanced. So that's the overall objective of calling something a micro learning, to enable higher engagement and better learner attention and its application. So that is where micro learning really falls. It is not really the way people go by the name. Micro learning is not about just doing something in a quick second. It is more about higher engagement, better recall. It is more about performance-oriented learning. That is how we define micro learning. People from various industries, they are calling it from different names, but yes, it is matter of the nomenclature which they have. People call it bite-sized learning. They call it learning nuggets. They call it capsule-based learning or learning capsules or learning on the go. So various terminologies in the industry which is floating around, but it is more to do with micro learning or model learning principles. So we will keep everything in context. Now, this is about nature, how what typically really falls in the or how a micro learning would really behave. When you are calling something a micro learning, what exactly you should really focus on. So when we really look at the nature of a micro learning component, we typically focus on this particular aspect most of the time. I would say almost 70% of the focus is on no information overload. That is the first objective of doing micro learning. The second objective which comes in picture is the impact. Creating something which is impactful, and that too within a span of 1 to 2 minutes, is one of the key reasons why people do micro e-learning or prefer micro learning. It is whenever we do micro learning, we try to create things which are contextual. If you are creating something of 2 minutes which is highly impactful but it is not contextual, you are losing the flavor of micro learning then. So micro learning has to be contextual, and it has to be very quick. Of course, as its names suggest, it has to be quick. You all have responded to my polls in a right way. If you are designing a micro learning component for smartphone, always try to keep it within I would say 60 seconds or maximum 90 seconds. That is the success ratio which we have seen for smartphone devices. I'm talking about devices which are of 5-inch or 6-inch, let's say, phablets, or for tablets which are 7 to 10-inch. Anything beyond 8 minutes or 10 minutes is something which is not really recommended unless it is mandatory, where you are not able to shrunk the content, so that you can keep it quick. You need to keep it contextual. You need to have it highly impactful or impressive, I can call it, or there should be no information overload. So micro learning is not about just rotating or flowing the textual information on the screen with audio. So that is not micro learning. I'm relating it with the instructional side of things, where what we have observed is, of course, every one of you coming from L&D domain, you would know these two pyramids. On my left hand side, you have Bloom's taxonomy, and on my right hand side, you have learning pyramid. And both of them, you know what, basically it's a flow of learning, and then learning pyramid helps understand what kind of activity leads to what kind of learning rates. So if we correlate both of them, what we see is this. So this, and that is in context to the micro learning, where we are talking about more of audios and more of visual activities, where what we see that micro learning falls in this particular category, where my micro learning is typically helping me with application based learning training or comprehension based learning and training, which is coming out from a national training laboratories study which they have done. So what all things can really fall within micro learning perspective? You'll see this from this particular screen. It talks about instructional animations, and I think we have some time where I can show you some instructional animations. I will do that, what falls in this particular category. I'll show you some game-based assessments. So this will be really very interesting to see how organizations have leveraged learning games in the purview of micro learning, and of course short scenarios or stories or knowledge nuggets, I really call them, how they have really contributed to micro learning principles or just in time learning, and then how video based learning is contributing to micro learning strategy. I'll show you an example of each one of them very quickly, of course keeping the time which we have in hand. And these are some very specific quick snapshots. What all things can really fall within micro learning purview. Knowledge nuggets, where you are providing story based quick, let's say 5-minute story with a learning objective. Role based videos, where you are providing scenarios with the help of live video shooting or animation or character based video. It can be a concept note very quickly of 30 seconds, where you are just quickly teaching one very quick concept. Then there can be teaser animation. So if you are launching a full-fledged training program or a full-fledged online learning module, and if you want to convey that particular crux of that particular thing with the help of some teasers or pre-classroom informatory animations, one can use that. I have an example of this. Some whiteboard animation, I'm sure everyone is aware of it. Hand animations, people call it. They fall in the category of micro learning if you really treat them well. Some infographic based animations. We all know what all infographics are, but infographic based animations, they are becoming highly popular these days and coming up with a better retention rate. So I'll show you an example of this too. These are some screen grabs from our assignments which we did around assessments, and how we really made it very interesting, quick, and powerful as per the micro learning principles, where people have used things like Wheel of Fortune or a $1 million quiz or a snakes and ladder or a slot machine, and they have really jazzed up the whole assessment experience, which was earlier more of MCQ and drag and drop type of a thing. So all those things can really fall within the category of micro learning. Why micro learning is working? Of course, it is instructionally sound. Instructional design theories support this. On top of it, what we have found is micro learning is all about the pull approach, where you are making it so interesting that your learners tend to come to you to learn more. So it is not really more like making it mandatory and just forcing them to learn something. Micro learning falls in the category of pull approach, where you pull the learners, try to pull the potential audience. Most of the formats which we discussed in our previous slides, they are supported on multiple devices. On an average, we all use 3 to 4 devices in our daily lives at a given point of time. So in a world of multiple devices, which is changing every now and then, right from browsers to screen sizes and all of that, micro learning behaves as a platform agnostic learning content, which is a great content format, I would say. The generation, the modern generation, which we started with on our today's session, the modern generation, they would like to learn something very quick, very smart, very without getting into really boredom. They would like to grab the things when they are working, while they are working, on the job, just in time. So that is the nature of Generation Y, which we are dealing today. And second, I would say this will be not really that deciding factor, but if you really see, we are talking about 2 minutes, we are talking about 3 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, right? So of course, compared to a 1 hour long or a 90-minute long learning material, learning object, it is definitely a cost-effective option. The type of micro learning, this is coming out of our experiences, which Hurix deals with on daily basis. When you try to create something which is animation, we always recommend that this type of micro learning or animation based micro learning should never go beyond 1 to 2 minutes. And where you can really use animation is more around pre and post classroom or formal learning or e-learning sessions. So if you use animation smartly, they really play a very critical role, or as learning remediation. So animations work beautifully in such use cases. Videos, typically you can think of creation of videos which are 2 to 5 minutes. Videos, we recommend creation of stories, creation of scenarios, creation of simulations, in fact, can get into video-based treatment if you are thinking of doing some micro learning. Knowledge nugget. So knowledge nugget is more of an exercise. You can really call it 5 to 10 minutes can be a knowledge nugget where you can try and introduce some concept. Mini module, nothing beyond 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Otherwise, there is no flavor of micro learning. And we are talking about now allowing people to interact more with the screen. So you can think of assessments, you can think of practice, such things. You can think of creation of some mini modules, and that can still be a micro learning. How to decide what type of micro learning will fit into your organization? Very quickly, you need to really look at work environment. So what type of devices your learners are using? What type of work environment? Are they on site? Are they sitting on machines most of the time? Are they moving? Are they in a bandwidth area or not? So what kind of work environment they have? Then the learner's nature. Are we talking about shop floor guys? Are we talking about blue collar workers or white collars or executive level guys? So you basically profile your learners accordingly, and then you need to really see what content you have in hand. So these are the three areas where you can think of the type of training which you are about to deliver, what is your working environment, and who is your audience. Once you do a profiling of these three, this helps you judge the nature of the micro learning. You need to do an animation, you need to do a nugget, you need to do a video. That will help you decide that. Quickly, a notion which we have about microlearning, that it is just cost effective, that's why you should do that. It is wrong. People can do 3D stuff in 1 minute time span, so you should never think this particular aspect only. There are other three reasons, as I mentioned in my previous slide. It is suited or supported, so that is it says suited as additive or support learning only. So people have this notion that you can always create micro learning to support your existing formal learning environment. That is wrong. In fact, you can chunk your existing lengthier learning modules into micro learning, and that can behave as an individual module itself. Series of learning nuggets, I would say. People have notion that micro learning is not serious or not for your senior management or executive level guys and such things. I'll open certain things which you'll see how it is treated. If it is treated well, you can really do some very serious and very good work with that serious learner as well. Only meant for mobile. Again, it's a notion. It is we are talking about micro learning, so it is more about platform agnostic learning. That is why it is successful. If it is all about micro learning, it would have never got this attention which it is getting today. A quick case study. It seems we are running short of time, so I will share this link with you all, where a leading organization, Credit Suisse, they did this initiative called 100 Seconds Learner, where what they have done is they have basically enhanced the managerial acumen and soft skills, and that has contributed to a behavioral change. It has won an award by Brandon Hall. What they have done, this was a short learning capsules they have created, they have broadcasted. This is the link. I'll show you. It's a whole case study where Credit Suisse L&D professionals are talking about how they have identified the need, what it has achieved, and how they have really executed the whole initiative. Since we have very few minutes left, so I would share this copy of this presentation with all of you guys, where you can go to this link and see or learn about this case study in detail. All right, I'm my slide which says Q&A. What I will do to honor your time, you can keep shooting your questions using your chat box, and I will at the same time I will start showing you some live work which I was talking about on my slide. So keep posting your questions and queries. I will try and address them as I'm showing you these samples. Let me start with this infographic-based animation.
A video like this will facilitate your business? Here are some facts that will end all of your worries. According to Forbes magazine, 59% of senior executives prefer to watch video instead of reading text if both are available on the same webpage. InternetRetailer.com says the visitors who view product videos.
So this is an example of infographic-based animation, which helps you convey facts, figures in a very
Still
impactful fashion.
Inflix.com concluded that email and video increases click rates by 96%. SEO Grovers at SEO.
Now, to show you some examples of what we did with one of our client ISS with hand animation.
Let us tell you how ISS is helping Citi to provide a safe and happy workplace and deliver a remarkable customer experience. Our promise is to work in a way that surprises and delights 2.0. Together we are committed to becoming real strategic partners.
This was one. Then I can pull up this one, which is a scenario-based, video-based learning.
Hi. My friend is getting married, and I was hoping that I could get her some nice, modern dinnerware. Of course. We've got a good selection for you to choose from. Would you like to see some porcelain or glass or stoneware? I really don't know, actually. Okay, do you want something delicate or something sturdier? How about both? I'd like to get her something that looks nice, but that's also easy to use and maintain. Then I would recommend the IKEA 365 Plus series.
So what we did with IKEA, we created a series of such scenario-based videos. We floated these series of videos formal training session. After combining all those videos, when the actual formal learning session happened, this was the final outcome. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah.
One of the most important skills for effective personal selling is having an understanding of what kind of support.
As you know, not every visitor needs the same amount of support.
Click the play icon in the video to view it.
Hi, I was browsing through a catalog and I really liked the Busa table. Can you please tell?
Now, all the videos, the series of videos which we created and floated pre-classroom or pre-formal learning session, which were micro-learning, nothing else. And then out of the same thing, when we did a threading exercise, we built a context around it and we created this module. This became an award-winning initiative in IKEA, where the whole thing was around very beautifully leveraged with the help of micro-learning principles. I can show you this very quick online portal which Philips Healthcare has created. This is a library of around 200 plus learning games. This falls in the category of micro learning. They are not typically they do not take more than 10 minutes for someone to complete a particular assessment. All these are contextual questions, so all medical content, but placed in this format where you have difficulty levels increasing here. You have a hint here in the form of like this. So that is how organizations have leveraged learning games, short learning games when it comes to micro learning. Let me quickly address certain queries. Okay, so there are questions which is around, are all subjects domains suitable for micro learning treatment? Answer to this is no. I will typically the categories or the criteria which I shared on my slide, if you really go by that kind of a categorization, we see that most of the training content may not fall in the micro learning principles. So what you really need to see, one really need to see is do an exercise of mapping the micro learning principles with the training objectives which we have in hand. So we can create micro learning components around such training areas, domains, subjects, may not be able to convert everything. That should not be the objective. And a couple of queries around specific inputs on content writing. I would say for micro learning thing, more of things were around these principles, the instructional design theories which we discussed in our session today, but specific inputs for content writing, I would say use more of less text on the screen and more of visuals on the screen with the help of images. Don't make it heavy. Don't try to use heavy 3D elements and those kind of things. As I said, key principle is to make it platform agnostic. So such things would help. All right, I think I've consumed most of my time, and rest of the queries I'll get back to you on email, specific to you guys. And of course, I had many more things to show you around mini modules or knowledge nuggets and such things. I will put that onto a link maybe and share it with you post this session. Do share your feedback, do share your comments. That is really helpful. We are doing this series of webinar. I hope you have enjoyed our session today and you have liked what you have seen today. So feel free to share your comments, share your queries with me. Here is my email. You can reach out to me. And I really thank you again for your time, and I wish you a great day ahead.